My mother didn't always hate me. Before my dad died, she was sunlight, warm, loud, protective. She laughed easily and hugged tightly. She used to say, "If anything ever happens to your father, it'll break me." I never understood what she meant. Until the day it happened. My father died in early winter, the kind of cold that sinks into your bones. For 3 months before that, our house was a hospital. Machines beeping in the living room. Nurses moving quietly. The smell of medicine drowning out everything else. My dad always tried to smile when I walked in. "Hey kiddo, still here?" But each day his voice became softer, thinner, like the air didn't want to carry it anymore. When he finally passed, my mother didn't cry the way I expected. She cried like something had been ripped out of her. Like she had lost not just a husband, but the part of herself that gave her strength. After the funeral, she locked herself in their bedroom for days. When she came out, she wasn't the same. She stopped calling me by my name, stopped eating meals I cooked, stopped seeing me as her child. Instead, she saw my father's face in mine, and every time she looked at me, it hurt her. Until the hurt became anger. The night she kicked me out, the house was silent, except for the ticking clock on the wall. I walked in after a long shift at a grocery store, exhausted but relieved to be home. But it wasn't home anymore. She sat in the dark, holding one of my father's shirts like it was the last piece of him left. The lamp beside her flickered, casting shadows on her face. She looked at me with hollow eyes. "You don't belong here anymore." At first, I thought she meant the shirt, that I reminded her too much of him. But then she stood up, voice shaking. "You took everything after he died. I can't breathe around you." "I didn't take anything," I whispered, confused, hurt, scared. She pointed at the door. "Get out of this house. Tonight, I don't want to look at you. Not now. Not ever." I froze. "Mama, I'm your child." But she wasn't listening. Grief had eaten the mother I knew. Her voice cracked like breaking glass. "Leave. You're killing me just by standing there." I packed with trembling hands. A few clothes, a photo of my dad, my school bag. She didn't even watch, didn't hug me goodbye. When I stepped out, the cold slapped my skin. She closed the door behind me. Then the lock clicked. It was the sound that stayed in my nightmares for years. The first week was the hardest, because I couldn't understand why. Why push out the only person who loved her? Why trade the child she had for the grief she couldn't handle? I slept on a friend's couch, embarrassed to explain. When that friend's parents asked questions, I started sleeping outside. A park bench, a bus stop, a storage room at work when my manager looked away. Hunger became normal. Loneliness became familiar. But somewhere in that darkness, a fire lit inside me. A small one at first. The fire to survive. Then to adapt. Then to build. Then to rise. I worked overtime shifts, saved every cent, learned skills online, found part-time jobs that turned into full-time ones. I learned to cook cheaply, to budget, to plan, to fight for a future nobody thought I deserved. And slowly, painfully, I climbed out of the hole I had been thrown into. It took years, 3 long, grinding years, but I finally had something to be proud of. A stable job, a side business, a small apartment with warm light and quiet nights. Some nights I stood at the window, imagining my dad's voice. "Look at you, kiddo. You made it." I wondered what he would say about my mom. I wondered what she thought of me, if she ever thought of me at all. I wasn't angry anymore. Just done. Until the day everything came crashing back. It was a Thursday afternoon. I had just wrapped up a delivery, feeling proud of the money I had earned that week. When my phone buzzed, I didn't look at it right away. When I finally did, my heart stopped. Mom. Incoming call. I hadn't seen that name on my screen in 3 years. My hands shook. My breath caught. But I answered. Hello? There was a long silence on the other side. Then her voice came through, careful, trembling, pretending to be fragile. It's me, your mother. Hearing her say mother felt wrong. She hadn't been one for a long time. How are you? She asked. My chest hardened. I knew that tone. It wasn't love, it was need. What do you want? She sighed loudly, like I was being the unreasonable one. I need money. Straight to it. My bills are piling up. I can't manage. And I heard you're working now. Running some business. You're doing well. I built all that on my own, I said quietly. Without you. She ignored the pain in my words. Well, she continued sharply. As your mother, I expect support. You owe me. I felt something inside me snap into clarity. No, I said. She went silent, stunned. What did you say? She whispered. No. She let out a cold laugh. You think you're grown? You think you can talk to me like that? You kicked me out, remember? My voice was steady now. You left me alone when I needed a parent the most. That was grief, she shouted. I wasn't myself. And I was a child, I snapped. But I didn't have the luxury of falling apart. I had to survive, alone. She inhaled sharply, offended by the truth. You should help me. I raised you. And I loved you, I whispered. But you stopped loving me the night you locked that door. You didn't just kick me out. You abandoned me. She didn't deny it. She just said, you're going to regret this. I already regret losing years of my life because of you, I said. But I don't regret choosing myself now. Then, for the first time in 3 years, I made a choice she could never take back. I hung up. I sat on my bed afterward. The sun was setting, painting the room orange and gold. It was peaceful, something my old home never was. I looked at the walls, the small kitchen, the quiet space I had created piece by piece. It wasn't just an apartment. It was proof. Proof that I could survive. Proof that I could grow. Proof that I could live without her. My father once said, a home isn't built with walls. It's built with love. Parent end. And he was right. She had a house, but no love. I had love. For my future, for the life I fought for. And for the first time in years, the weight lifted from my chest. I wasn't the kid she abandoned anymore. I wasn't the child begging for her to love me again. I was free.